Hey everyone, it's Eric Kugler
and Connor Donovan,
and welcome to Level Up News Episode 2. Today we're reviewing top 10 list of 2016 and lists from our own personal favorites from 2016. Starting off our top 10 list for 2016 is Dishonored 2. Dishonored 2 is a stealth video game. It's a first-person action adventure. It's a sequel to the original Dishonored game, which came out in 2012, by keeping the same features such as like stealth kills and keeping those awesome gory kills that the fans absolutely love.
Number 9 on our top 10 list is Dark Souls 3. Now, I personally haven't played Dark Souls 3, but one of our crew members, Dan, has told me enough about it for me to understand the game. Dark Souls 3 is an extremely hard beat-em-up, and as you can assume, since it's called Dark Souls 3, it's the third game in the Dark Souls series. This game is around a knight beating up demons from the underground and all that. Like I said, I haven't played it, but I'm sure it's a very fun game.
Topping off at number 8 for our 2016 list is Rocket League. If you guys don't know what Rocket League is a mini game where you guys play as trucks hitting a giant soccer ball into the other person's net. It's kind of like FIFA, but just with soccer balls and just the hitting of the ball going back and forth and scoring on each other's nets. It became very popular due to the fact that it was a free game with gold for Xbox and free game with PSN. It was very massively downloaded, causing it to be so popular.
All right, number 7 on this list is Pokemon Go. Now, I'm sure all you millennials out there watch this on YouTube have at least heard of this game. Pokemon Go became a cult classic when it released in July of 2016. And it's a game where you actually have to go outside. I know, outside, it's a tough subject in video games. But you go out with friends or even just by yourself, and you catch Pokemon, battle gyms, and it was a fun game while it was still popular. The game kind of died out in September when Niantic, the developers that made the game, got rid of all the fun features in the game and made it kind of crappy. So I have someone here who actually still plays the game. Eric, why do you still play this game?
To be honest, I really don't know why. Since Pokemon was such a big part of my childhood, I can't really just say, all right, I'm kind of done with this game, because it still has some sort of appeal to me. But I get where you're coming from with the whole Niantic screwed over Pokemon Go, because they really kind of did. For the longest time, they took away the tracking feature, which was a big, crucial part to find the Pokemon itself. And I remember one time I was out with my friends playing this game back in August. We found Pikachu on the radar. So we were actually able to track it down using the tracker. But once we found another one, but this was after Niantic screwed it up, we were just kind of like, all right, this game is starting not to be as fun as it used to be. Eventually it gets kind of repetitive, so I get where you're coming from, but there's still a lot of fun in it. I still find fun in it. I don't play it not nearly as much as I used to, not anymore. It's more of like if I'm bored or anything like that, I pull it out every now and then. But I definitely get where you're coming from. The one thing I'd say that could have revived Pokemon Go so long ago was if they added the new region Pokemon right when it was kind of at its peak, starting to go down a little bit. Now, barely anyone has the game anymore. So if they, I heard there's rumors of the new Johto region coming out this year. Honestly, Niantic, way too late. Way too late, because it's not going to be enough to revive the old thrive people had for Pokemon Go.
Yeah, now before we get off topic of Pokemon, I'm not saying Pokemon itself is trash. I love Pokemon. You'll see later in the list. But I'm just saying this Pokemon Go, when it was announced, they didn't really when they announced it, they were saying it would be the best game ever. Oh man, you can go out and you can see the Pokemans and the Stuffses, and then they didn't really deliver with what they expected us.
Yeah, I remember when I first got the game, I was down in Florida, and I was so excited about this game. To be honest with you, it was a lot of fun. But eventually, the main feature was for the VR, that you can catch them using your phone moving around. That became boring and dull, to the point where we just turn off, I think it was AR or VR mode, something like that, and just catch them regularly, because it was laggy, it wasn't really working. You would have to turn your phone around all the time, and it can be very, very troublesome, especially if you're driving. That is a huge troublesome problem. Don't play Pokemon and driving like that. Not encouraging it, but it's just, they kind of started ruining the game. I have to say, what they were offering, they could not deliver as much as they did. A lot of games, they have so much build-up, kind of like the original Titanfall, had such huge build-up, but a month later they just could not deliver. I'm not saying Titanfall 2, I'm just saying Titanfall 1, you know what I'm saying? And it was just a game that just really couldn't deliver.
Another thing they got rid of, aside from the Pokemon tracking, was something that's was a big issue when playing the game, because they got rid of the battery saver mode.
Yes, that was for a while.
If you didn't have a battery pack and your phone died, you're out of luck.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was like last month or 2 months ago, something like that, they re-added it back because we were getting such complaints. But I remember it was still over the summer when it was still really hot game. They took away the battery saver. I'm like, why are you taking away the battery saver? I think that taking away the tracking and battery saver is the one thing that really screwed over Niantic and Pokemon Go, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, we'll see if Niantic can fix the game in the future. For now, let's move on to number 6.
For number 6 is Rise of the Tomb Raider. This is another game in the Tomb Raider series. Like I said, I really don't know too much about this game. Lara Croft is still starring in the game. The game looks stunning. Also, I think it's more of a horror game. It's like kind of an adventure game, but also mainly kind of horror. Because I remember reviews on it, and people were like scared a lot playing this game. So I haven't really got a chance to play it. I want to, but it looks like a great game for all you Tomb Raider fans. Coming in at number 6, but personally I think it should be up there more towards 2 or 1, is Doom. Doom is a first-person action-adventure game where you play as an unnamed soldier and you battle your way through hell. Honestly, I think it's incredible. If you guys like Halo, if that's up your alley, this game will be totally for you. Like I said, you play as a first-person Marine soldier and you fight demons of hell, doing these glory kills using different weapons such as RPGs, LMGs, shotguns. You have these energy weapons too. One of my favorite weapons is the Gauss Cannon, where you shoot like these humongous laser beams and you just kill a bunch of demons and you can get like blood everywhere. Honestly, it's a lot of fun, but it's more towards the people who enjoy horror games other than just casual like Call of Duty players, because at some points it can get very gory where you can literally rip your enemies in half. So that's also a lot of fun if that is up your alley. So if you're into the horror games with the very gory game style, I highly recommend this game.
All right. Coming in at number 5 is Paper Mario Color Splash for the Nintendo Wii U. Now, Paper Mario Color Splash is the 5th game in the Paper Mario franchise, and in this game, you play as Paper Mario. You know, who would have thought that? And you go to this island with Peach, and no one's there. It's deserted. You're like, whoa, why is no one here? And then you find this paint bucket, and this paint bucket is sentient. So it's like living and stuff, and it gives you this hammer that can get paint on it. You go and you start hitting stuff with the paint. Then you realize the paint bucket is all like, yo, we got these color stars, and all the stars are gone. And Mario's like, oh man, well, I guess I better go save those. And Bowser's all like, Mario, you're not going to save those stars. And Mario's like, well, guess what, Bowser? I am. And then that's the game. That's like the whole story. And Mario and the paint bucket dude goes to save the color stars to bring color back to the island. And in the end, everyone lives happily ever after because they got color again and no one's dead because they don't have any color. They got all color sucked out of them. They got color now. I give the game a 3.5 out of 5 color hammers.
Coming at number 4 is Final Fantasy 15, I believe. Final Fantasy is an open-world beat-em-up game. To be honest with you, I have not the slightest clue why it's on this list. Lewis wanted on the list. So it was a group decision that we will give it to him. He likes this game. Neither Connor or I really like the game. All I know is that you're a character with big spiky hair and a huge sword, and you go around killing dragons and mythical creatures and whatever you want to kill, I guess. Like I said, it's an open world killer game. It's more for the people who play like those anime story builder games. Not my alley. Personally, I would probably hate this game, but it's on the top 4 for Lewis' sake.
Coming in at number 3 is Overwatch. This was named the best game of 2016 by IGN.
And I have to agree.
Overwatch is, it's a shooter. It's not like Call of Duty because you can't switch weapons. There's no classes. But you can switch characters. There's this big gorilla dude. There's this gamer chick who goes into a giant mech sort of thing, and she shoots with triggers, and then she hops out and has a pistol. She's not very good. I don't like her. Then there's
She's
another.
pretty good.
She's good.
Yeah,
All right, I
because
guess
like
she's
some
good.
people can actually like play her like really well. Like I said, like you say, cause there's multiple characters, but each character, what you're missing, has a different like either special ability or it just has its different personality. Like you have D.Va, who's in the mech suit, but let's say you want Genji, he's kind of like the ninja. Like
What's he
kinda,
do with the sword, and he's like, "I don't know again." Is that him?
Yeah, that's Genji. Or you have the Hanzo who does like with the
he's
bow and
the
arrow.
Oh, I like
Like shoots a spirit dragon and whatnot. Or you have, like I said, you have the mech suits guy. You have like a little troll named
Who's Tracer?
Torbjorn.
Which one's Tracer?
Tracer's like the one that goes really fast. Cool fact about her, actually, once you reload her gun, she sends her guns back in time to where she had a full ammo. That's how she reloads. That because it's all fantasy. So, like I said, each character has its own special ability. Like one guy named, I think his name was, I can't remember his name, but he has like this sound gun where he shoots those sound
Applejack's
things.
guy?
Yeah, Applejack's guy.
Lucio.
Thank you, Lucio. I cannot figure it out.
Applejacks.
But you shoot like these sound waves. Actually, you have Reaper. Like obviously, who you think it is the guy, Grim Reaper. Shoots these pistols. Honestly, way too overpowered. People, Blizzard, please do nerf this guy. He's not fun to go up against. Please, now.
But he's fun to play as.
Oh, exactly, because you just kill everybody.
So Blizzard, keep him the way he is. We like it.
And Bastion players, stop it. Get some help, honestly, because you're not only ruining the game for yourself, but you're ruining the game for everyone else. So please, stop it. On top of that note, some of my more favorite characters are Hanzo, which the guy with the bow and arrow who shoots a dragon, which is pretty cool. Another one of my favorite characters is McCree. He's like a more cowboy kind of guy, obviously with the revolver, and he has all these things like it's high noon when he shoots his gun. Like I said, each character also, like I said earlier, has a special ability. So McCree has a thing where you can lock onto enemies and you can just shoot them, like pin them off one by one. So it's really overpowered. Like I said, Hanzo, you have that spirit dragon that just flies forward and kills everything in its path.
Is that the sword thing where you like pulls it out
Yeah,
of
and
his
you're
shoulder
just
and he's like, whoa.
Whoa! D.Va's thing, she have her suit self-destruct. That can like go off and kill a mass amount of people. I've seen videos where D.Va's the special ability has actually killed off the entire other team. So that's also very overpowered as well. Bastion, you turn into a tank. Please get rid of Bastion for the love of God. Like I said, each person has their own special ability, but it depends on your style. What do you rather play? Would you rather play as a defensive character, or you like Torbjorn, where you can build turrets, you mainly stay back, or you can be like Tracer, full offensive, you go rep close. It's like more of CQB. So you were just go, and you were shooting down enemies one by one. So like I said, Overwatch really got to depend on your own play style. That's why I love the game so much, because you can just move your way around, experiment different things as well.
Yeah.
All right, coming in at number 2 is Battlefield 1. This is one of the many Battlefield games in the series, like Bad Company, Battlefield like 1 through 4. But this game, unlike any other game we have seen in a very long time, is take place back in World War I. You might have recalled back like in 2008 when Call of Duty World at War came out, but that was for World War II. This one takes place in World War I. So you really do have those pre-World War II weapons, but you still have like the classic, the M1 Garand. You have all these cool guns, but they're not as like modern as like say an M16 like today. Like I said, it all takes place back in World War One. You have like this battle tank that goes by, which is really awesome. It's like a humongous train that's been all decked out for like a train, just mow down enemies. You guys can also fly biplanes, which were the planes of that time, which personally I think is really, really cool. You get these LMGs. You can use mustard gas, the World War I chemical weapon. You have these. You also have like tank destroyers, like these things in your hand, and you like throw them at tanks, kind of like a grenade on a stick. So honestly, I think it's a really, really fun game, but that like you have to be like I don't want to say dedicated to this genre of playstyle, but you really just gotta really love this kind of game to enjoy it really. Because I remember playing the beta, it was alright. I'm more of a World War II game kind of guy. That's why I love World at War. But this was kind of World War I, and it kind of got a little bit repetitive in the beta. So if you guys were playing the beta like I was, and you thought that one map was very repetitive, which I don't blame you, it was. They've changed up, so now you have campaign, you have multiple different maps, many different game modes, more guns, more everything. And honestly, hearing a lot of reviews on it, I heard it's absolutely phenomenal.
Coming in at the #1 spot is Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
This game, obviously the latest of the new Pokemon series, and I have to say, one of my favorites. It came out, like I said, in November when we did the midnight release for it, but it had a new twist, adding like all new Pokemon, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. And also adding in trials instead of gyms, which I think was the biggest thing.
Yeah, but they were fun. Like, they weren't bad. Like, some people thought it was a bad thing. I personally thought it was a really fun.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Fun thing.
But also, I think the trials were almost too easy as well, unlike the gyms where they're actually challenged. Like, if you were to lose, you'd have to go back and train. But, like, the trials, like I said, you're really, really fun.
Yeah. Like, for me, the hardest battle in the entire game, for just personally for me, was when I was super underleveled at the trainer school.
Yeah.
I was at the trainer school, and I had to fight the teacher, and she was like, "Oh, if you don't beat me, you're gonna go to detention." I'm like, I don't want a detention. So I kept trying to beat her, and I couldn't do it. Then eventually I did it, and I was really happy.
Yeah, I have to say, that was one of the more challenging things other than the trials. I mean,
the trials were super easy compared to that, because I was over-leveled at that point. So I'm just pounding through these things like, all right, let's just move on.
Because by the time you hit the trial, you're like 10 levels, like your eyes Pokemon is like more than 10 levels above what you're supposed to be fighting.
Right.
Like, I think it was like Wishy-Washy. I think that was the name of the weird, the weird whale. That was too easy. I think it was like level 40 at that time. That was like level 30. So that was just easy to pick off right then and there.
Yeah.
Unlike the gym leaders, like I said, where if you lose, you have to go back and train up. Because I remember, like in Diamond and Pearl, where I'd lose like 7 times.
Yeah.
Then you have to get reset back and you got to go train again. So that really did suck. But I mean, I say, for the next game, I think Nintendo has to, increase the difficulty of the trials.
Yeah. I think the trial, like, they shouldn't be raised too much. Like, I'd say bring it up 5 or so levels.
Yeah. Not
so it's not a
complete, can't beat it.
It's not a complete sweep.
Yeah.
You won't be stuck on it for a year and you'll give up and cry every time you try to beat it.
Yeah.
That happened with me.
Where you slam your DS against the wall and you pray to God that A, the cartridge didn't fall out, or B, your whole DS didn't break. It happened to me twice.
The internals of the DS don't fall out.
That would be bad. I think that almost happened to me too, because I remember the screen jostled back and forth for a while, and I got very, very scared. Saw a few colors across the screen, and honestly, that's what brought me to tears more than the gym leader itself.
Another thing about Sun and Moon is, without really trying to go into spoilers, was there wasn't a ton of legendary Pokemon.
Yes.
Like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you had, of course, Groudon, Kyogre. Then they're like, oh, let's just throw in everyone else. Let's throw them in there. You can catch them, fly around, catch them. All right. This game, they're like, let's give them legendary Pokemon. You meet them in the beginning, let's give them. But we're going to add in other Pokemon that look like legendary Pokemon, but they're just regular Pokemon.
Yeah, like the Ultra Beast.
The Ultra Beast.
I have to say, one of the more basics one was the little paper mache or that katana,
the katana one.
That one, I have to say, I was like, what is this? Like, if I blow hard enough, can you fall over? I mean, like, it was boring against that kind of fight, but like the huge bug mosquito one,
the big buff dude,
Bugswole, something like that. Yeah, that one was weird.
I loved him.
Like, the best part was when you finally fainted him, he just gives you one flex and falls to the ground. I think that was kind of funny, but I have to say I'd much rather see the legendaries instead of the Ultra Beasts, because you can, unlike the legendaries where you can only find this one. You only have one shot at this, like Kyogre, Dialga, stuff like that, or like even in Diamond, I remember going up to that mountain. Do you remember that one called? That mountain on the island.
Mount Coronet.
Thank you.
Where you'd find
Heatran.
Yeah.
You find Heatran, but if you kill them off,
that's it.
Yeah, you don't get another chance in the game.
That was one of the more painful things about the earlier Pokemon games. Like Platinum, you could find the 3 lake Pokemon as
yes.
Azelf,
oh my God,
Mesprit, and Uzi. or whatever, something like that.
Let's
And
see.
whenever you'd find one, they'd be like, all right, this is your chance. So you'd always have to like save before it.
Yep,
With
exactly.
the Ultra Beast, you don't have to worry about
Because there's
saving.
like 4 of them.
Because you have to catch like 8 of them.
That's what got really repetitive because I wanted to move on to the next part. Like, you gotta be kidding me, I gotta catch another one of these guys. And it really wasn't fun anymore. And also, another really big thing about the Ultra Beast, remember those Z power, like you power up?
The Z moves.
Yeah, the Z moves, like, that was a cool thing where you have like the, like I was sitting there watching it. That was where the exciting was, where you just slam on your fist like, oh Lord, you're just about to crush this
kill
thing. Absolutely just demolish them. Or you had the one where you do some Hawaiian dance and you hope for a wave or two to fly up or something, kind of like that. So I have to say the Z moves were okay, and they can do much better. They can add like flips, tricks. You can like spin a Pokeball.
Go on a motorcycle and then do a flip into a building that's on fire. And there's a giant bear shark in there that you just. Sorry, I'm going a little over the top. Basically, we like Sun and Moon, and we hope you do too.
Because honestly, it was just such a good game, and there's no way that this game could not have been #1. Because honestly, I think personally, still, this was one of my by far favorite games in 2016. One of the best games I think come out in a very long time. So we hope you guys enjoyed Pokemon Sun and Moon, because I know we sure as heck did.
So, my third favorite game of 2016 was Attack on Titan for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Now, Attack on Titan is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's filled with action, even drama, believe it or not. When I heard they were going to make it into a video game, I was ecstatic, and I think they really delivered. It gets a little dull after a while, but it stays fun throughout. You basically play as the main characters from the show, and you go around killing Titans. That's the gist of it. Like I said, it's repetitive, but it's also extremely fun. So, my second favorite game of 2016 is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. Now, obviously, since HD is in the name, it's just an HD remake of a game previously made on the Wii and GameCube. Now, Twilight Princess is about a guy named Link. He had to deliver a sword to the castle thing, and he was trying to get to the castle. Then he got turned into a wolf, so it turned into like a Twilight story. So when he got turned into a wolf, he was like, oh man, I don't want to be a wolf. So he had to try and turn back into a human. Then when he turned back into a human, he realized Zelda, the Legend of Zelda was gone, and he's like, oh man, now I gotta save Zelda. So he saved Zelda by killing some dude called Ganondorf by stabbing him in the heart. And I don't know, that still really appeals to me on a personal level. The game is beautiful, it's fun, it's action, sword fighting, bow and arrow. You can make bomb arrows. You can put bombs on arrows, and when you shoot things, they explode. How is this game not good when you can make bomb arrows? You smell what The Rock is cooking. WWE 2K17, real good game. Real good, 10 out of 10. Got some wrestlers. More importantly, it's got The Rock. That's why it's good. Alright, now, you thump your Bibles, you read your prayers. But Donovan 316 says WWE 2K17 is the best one out there. It looks real. It's got some really good wrestlers. It's got stunning Steve Austin. It's got Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that's the bottom line. I like that. That turned out pretty good. Quiet. Now listen here, you stupid idiots. WWE 2K17 was the best game of 2016. And you can't tell me I'm wrong, because I'm Chris Jericho. You dig? You know what happens to good games around here? You know? You know what happens to 2K17? You know what happens to WWE 2K17 with Chris Jericho in it? You just made the list! You dig? Ooh, yeah! WWE 2K17 is the best around! Only on the Xbox One! It's also on the PS4, but it's the best on the Xbox One! 'Cause it makes the Macho Man Randy Savage look top notch with my scarf and my ooh yeahs! WWE 2K17 is the best game around, and it puts all other games to shame. All those other WWE games, wrestling games, hell, any games can rest in peace. My name's Connor Donovan. I don't know much about WWE. I think there's some dude called like Congina. I don't know. Sami Zayn. I don't know, something like that. One of them was on Jimmy Fallon. I know that. He put like a turkey in the ground, something like that. It was good. I was able to play. I played a little bit of it. Not really my thing. I don't know anyone that actually like really likes WWE.
Now we're moving on to my personal top 3. Starting off on number 3 on my list is Doom. Like I said earlier, it's a first-person action-adventure game, but I'm going to go into why I like it so much. I am so into the games where you go first-person and you are absolutely demolishing everything in your path. So when I saw this game come out, I was like, oh my god, I really need this game. Because by far my favorite part was the glory kills, where if you hurt the enemy enough, you can either rip it in half. One of them, you can rip the thing's eyeball out and just kill it. Honestly, that was so cool. It grasped my attention so much. Because when I first got the game, I was grinding it so much. Because it was just, even though it can get repetitive after a while, it just grabbed my attention so much. Because you got the glory kills, like you said, you can even stomp on an enemy's head. I think it was just incredible. Because you don't see that much anymore. You always have those dimmed down Call of Duties where you shoot someone with barely any blood at all. This one you can have as gory as you want it. It was just honestly something new, something I haven't really seen before, so that's why I love it so much and why it's on my number 3. Right, for my number 2 from my top 3, I have to say this game, this killed me to absolutely just killed me to put this at number 2, but it has to be Sun and Moon, because there's one game that if they were neck and neck, I wish I could really push them in at number 1, both at number 1, but Sun and Moon has to go number 2. Like we said before, this was one of our favorite games of all time. It was just so much fun. What I really liked about it was the innovativeness, or I'm trying to think of the word for that, how creative it was, because you have all this new features you can do. You can have the Pokemon rides, the Sharpedo, Tauros, Mudsdale, all of that. I think that was really cool. The Ultra Beasts were okay. I think it was fun to start off with. Later in the game, it's kind of like that mother-in-law. When you just get her, you're just becoming your mother-in-law, she's alright, but then when later on, 10 years pass and you just really can't stand her anymore, it's kind of like that. But honestly, it was just such a good game. Like I said, the new creativeness, the trials were so much fun. The only thing I have against it was the Ultra Beast. I think they should have left that first one you find and catch in the Ultra World. I think they should have just left it at that, or once you get your legendary Pokemon, either that or the Ultra Beast in the Ultra World would have been fine. Fine, just leave it at that. Throw in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, throw in Rayquaza at the end, and have a good fight like that level 70 Rayquaza. Throw that in again, Nintendo. That was fun. Catching 4 of those paper origami, whatever you want to call those things, that are a foot tall. If you read the description, is a foot tall. Get rid of that. Please. I beg of you, just get rid of that. But like I said, it was just so much fun, and honestly, Nintendo, bravo. This game is a 9.9 out of 10 in my book. Coming in at number 1, like I said, this killed me that I couldn't put Sun and Moon in, because they were so neck and neck. But I have to put in Overwatch as my top game of 2016, because honestly, it is so incredible. I know he's giving me the look over here like I'm crazy, but I mean, I absolutely loved it. At first, when it first came out, I almost laughed right at the game. What is this garbage? I thought it would have died off right away. I'm like, this is going to be like Titanfall 1, where it just, a quick flash in the pan, lasts about a month and it's died out. But then 3 months later, after release, a free trial weekend came out. I'm like, all right, why not? I'll try it out. And I was hooked right then and there. It was so much fun playing with the different characters, which I think is the best part. because you have all these different characters that you can choose from. Unlike Call of Duty, where you have like a certain amount of guns and you really don't control anything about your character that gives anything cool. Like you just change the camo of your guy or whatever you want to call it, the outfit. Unlike Overwatch, where you can literally change your character itself. Like you can pick Tracer, one of my favorites, where it is so CQB, you just go, go, go. You get kills all the time, something like that, which is much more fast-paced. Or you could pick Torbjorn or Reinhardt, like you have a tank character, defense characters, healers, like Zenyatta. Like it was just a really different outlook on how to play first-person shooters, which really grasped my attention so much. Honestly, for about 4 weeks, or 4 weeks to a little over a month, I was grinding that game nonstop every day. It was just so much fun, and that's why it's at number 1, just for how creative, how it's unlike anything the gamers for the first-person world have ever seen, and honestly, how well done it was made. I know this is the one thing, though, I have to say why I did. This is like the one thing I didn't like about it. There was no campaign, but I know it's kind of stupid because a lot of games don't have campaign nowadays. But I mean, I still think it was a fantastic game with the characters and the different maps. So that's why it's at number 1 for me. Now for what games we are looking for in 2017. Like not just games, but also what we're looking forward to in the video game wise for 2017. To start off with, I'm going to let Connor introduce this one because he absolutely loves this.
I love it. So probably what I'm looking forward to the most in 2017 is the Nintendo Switch. Now, Eric, you don't know much about this, do you?
I know that you can.
It doesn't matter what you think. The Switch is the best console to come out ever in the world of ever. The Switch, of course, is by Nintendo. Now, what the Switch is it's this little tablet thing, kinda. It's about this big. It's a non-crappy Wii U.
Yeah, I was about to say, this sounds exactly like the Wii U, but what makes it different?
So it's this little tablet, and on the side you got these really cool controllers, and they come out, and they got something called HD Rumble. HD Rumble.
Let's get ready to
HD Rumble. So pretty much, if let's say you're holding the controller. Let's pretend the controller is a glass. All right, like a glass you drink out of.
Yeah.
The rumble makes it feel like how many ice cubes are being put in. So let's say 1 ice cube is put in, you shake it around, it feels like there's 1 ice cube. 2 ice cubes are put in, like on screen or whatever, and you shake it, it feels like there's 2 ice cubes. 3, it feels like there's 3. Then they pour water, you can feel it. You can feel like the water as it hits the bottom and slowly rises up.
That's really cool. I honestly, that's something I would never dream of Nintendo doing. When they came out like that 3DS, that was like the big, wow, it's in 3D.
It was like, whoa.
But like the
It's
3DS,
Mario in my face.
no one, it's Mario in my face. Don't need glasses or anything. But kind of like the 3DS, no one really uses the 3D function anymore. You just play the DS. Now, what is Nintendo gonna do for like a matter like this? Is it going to get boring after a little while?
Well, the HD Rumble,
what are they adding in?
They're not using it as a key selling point.
So what
you
is
know
the
how
key
like
selling
when you're
point? The
the key selling point is just the fact that you can bring it with you anywhere. It's basically
Oh, you can? I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So when you get the Switch, it'll come with this dock, and you put the tablet thing in there, and you can play it on the TV. You have a grip, you can put the controllers in, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But then let's say you have to go somewhere. Now these aren't like 3DS looking graphics. These are they look like this.
Like a TV.
Like a TV game. And you put the controllers in the sides, you pick it up, you're good to go. That's it. That's all you have to do.
That's pretty
And then
cool.
you can bring it with you anywhere. It charges in the dock. You can play it. You don't have to worry about, oh no, how can I play it in my house without it charging? It comes with an AC adapter. And that's like the key selling point. You can bring it anywhere. You can set up as a stand. Each controller can be used as like a player 1, player 2.
Yeah.
So like Mario Kart, I can give you one and I'll have the other, and we'll be playing Mario
So
Kart.
wouldn't that be kind of like a one-hand kind of thing, or what is that like?
What do you mean by like one hand?
Because I remember seeing it. It was like the controller that joins together into one kind of controller. There's I think I could be wrong. I'm sorry if I am. Is it like a screen in the middle, like the 2 controllers, kind of like almost like a steering wheel? I want to say like a steering wheel.
Well,
kind of like an Xbox controller if you cut it in half and added a screen in it.
Kinda, but they aren't built into it. Like they were never meant to look like they were built in. They just slide on.
Yeah.
And then it comes with a grip. You hold it in, and it'll look like a regular game controller.
So that's what I think is awesome. How I know I've probably said this word so many times, to the point where you're saying Eric, please get a new vocabulary. But it's so innovative. It's so different, unlike we've really ever seen before. Because I can't name a single console out on the market that has ever done something as different as this. Really.
Yeah. One of the downsides is the battery life is kind of short. Now, it depends on what kind of game you're playing. It depends on the game. So let's say you're playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. The battery life will only last about 3 hours. Now, that's still a fair amount. Like 3 hours. But let's say you're playing, I don't know, like a NES. It can go up to 6.5, 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
So it just ranges on what game you're playing, which I understand because, I mean, look at the new Zelda, the new graphics, like just how bright and open it is. Obviously, that's going to take a lot more power.
Yeah, I get that.
To run it. But if you're playing an NES game, that takes little to, well, not no, but small amount of power. Like, there's not a lot. So I understand, like, the point of it, and, you know, it is what it is. You can't do anything about it unless you just keep it plugged in, play with that.
Now let's talk about, I want to say the main thing, but a key factor whether people get it or not. Let's talk about the price. Do you know anything about the price itself?
It's going to be $300.
Okay, so not as much as like
it's
an
less
Xbox
than a
One
Wii
when it
U.
first comes out. Like,
It's
like
less than a
$500.
Wii U, but it's more than a 3DS.
Yeah, like you have like 2DSs with like now like $80, but it's now like the Xbox One when it first came out was like $500, something like that.
Right.
So that's actually pretty cool. Something that created for that price. I think
Yeah, I wouldn't break the bank.
Wow, that just fell apart on me. I'll break the bank. Don't you like break the controller like I did?
Another thing that some people are mad about is Nintendo is taking the Xbox and PlayStation route, and they're adding a paid online service.
Oh.
So instead of having free online, it's paid.
Kind of like PS3, you had that free online, which really was awesome.
But it's taking an Xbox route where you have lobbies, so you have like parties that you can talk to your friends in.
So combine
and
like
you get a free game every month.
Yeah, so you're kind of combining like the good of both sides, you're putting it into one.
So people are like, oh man, paid online? What the heck, man? But I'm obviously, I don't want to pay for both Xbox and Nintendo, but I can't imagine it'll be that much.
Like monument.
I can imagine a year being $30, $40.
Kind of like Xbox.
Because
I know Xbox is like 60 to 80.
Xbox is
kind of
60.
a little pricey, but
And I say that because Xbox is more popular.
Yeah, Xbox is way more popular.
That's probably why they're being like, oh, more people are going to use this service, let's charge more. Nintendo is big, but it's not as popular as Xbox, so they're probably going to have a lower price point.
Yeah. Now you were just said a key, like another keyword that really just triggered my head. Popular. Now Nintendo is not known for being a really back like in the early 2000s. It was
like
pretty
third party.
Yes, it's kind of like a third party where when you say the word video game, Xbox, PlayStation pops in your mind.
Right.
Usually, not Nintendo. How is Nintendo gonna have this? So when you hear the word video game, bam, Nintendo Switch comes in your mind.
So many, because of the purely innovative design of the Switch and its capabilities, so many third parties are interested. Like 2K, Ubisoft is coming back.
Really?
We'll be seeing like NBA 2K18, WWE 2K18.
That'd be pretty cool. What if there's the new Assassin's Creed on that?
The new Assassin's.
How cool would it be if you take an Assassin's Creed portable with you?
Right.
That's one of my favorite Ubisoft series is taking that game on the go.
Right.
Or the new Rainbow Six game, like Rainbow Six Siege. That's Ubisoft. That would be awesome, having an online multiplayer game on the go. Now, it does not get much better than that.
It probably won't be online on the go.
See, yeah, that's also kind of.
This is something I was kind of surprised. I thought they would put a SIM card slot. That's what's in your phone.
Yeah.
That's what gives you data. So I was thinking you could put data in there so you'd have online while you go. But I can also imagine imagine how much that would cost.
Yeah, that'd be kind of pricey.
Like running a YouTube video takes up like a gig of data.
Yeah.
Running an entire online video game service on data you'd have to buy a new SIM card, or you'd have to add data every month, and you'd have no data for your phone.
Exactly. So that could get pricey. So I do see your point there.
But of course, there's local multiplayer, which will be free. You won't have to pay for that. So I'm not worried about that. No one's worried about that. That'll be fun with the two controllers.
That-
Mario
that's so
Kart on the
different.
go.
That would be a lot of fun. You kind of had that with the DS. Like you had like Mario Kart 7. You could have that on your DS, like the 2DS and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this is just so different. Now, I don't know. There is a screen in the middle, right, between the two sides.
Yeah,
It
that's
slides
the main
in. Yeah,
main
your
unit.
screen's there. So, like in Mario Kart, remember how you turn the controller will have that same kind of effect, or you guys use the joystick?
I think since it has motion control,
Yeah, so you think
you'd be
you
able
can
to
turn-
turn it.
Okay, that's
it,
pretty
you wouldn't
cool.
have to turn the screen, just your individual controller. That's
Yeah.
what has the motion control.
That's what I was wondering about.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Now, something we can move on to, and this will also branch off with the rest of what we're looking forward to in 2017, is obviously the games for the Switch.
Exactly.
Now,
Zelda.
the big point here was they announced Zelda as a launch title.
Yeah.
So
remember
I think,
talk about that.
again, with the sales, Zelda, this game that was announced back in 2014, has been delayed ever since.
Yeah.
Obviously, people are going to be like, oh my god, it's Zelda. I'm going to buy one of these. Launch day. So I think with Zelda, they don't have a ton of options. There's only about 4 launch titles,
Yeah.
and Zelda's the only first-party one. But I think because of that, they're going to have a pretty big launch day.
That's gonna be pretty.
They're
huge.
gonna have huge
I
sales.
guarantee you, GameStop is mainly gonna focus on Zelda. Like Nintendo Switch, like midnight release, come pick up your come get your Nintendo Switch, and like right on the box, like when Battlefield 1 came out, you always see those Xbox One Battlefield 1 editions.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like Nintendo Switch Zelda edition. It's gonna be right then and there, grabbing that attention.
They don't want to do packaged editions because they want to keep
Really?
the price point 300 and under.
Really?
So if they add the game, they don't want to bring it up like 350, 400 because I think that would be a bit ridiculous.
that would be a little ridiculous. I wouldn't
So
pay
they're gonna-
$400 for it.
So they're going to keep it as an individual unit and just games on the side. I'm sure in the future, maybe they'll be like, all right, we can.
Because once it gets like
We can do that.
once it gets like a year or something like that, because Xbox One first came out bland, it was $500. Now you get brand new, it's like $300. But if you want like the Halo 5 edition, the Battlefield 1 edition, it's like $350. Kind of slide in there, but it's not as pricey as the original one.
So as time goes on, the Switch will go down to about the price of a special edition 3DS. And I'm sure eventually a 3DS. I'm sure you'll be able to find a Switch. Obviously, this will be in like 5, 8 years.
yeah.
You'll be seeing Switches from 200, 250. But that's in the future. That's nothing to worry about now.
Now, what does this mean for the 3DS? I mean, people are just obviously gonna go
There's
right
still
for the
games
Switch.
being made for 3DS.
Really? Because I
Reggie,
remember in the regular DS, the DS Lite, those games got the second those 3DS games really started getting popular, they cut production on those DS games.
Yeah. Reggie Fils-Aimé said that there's still unannounced 3DS games. One of the games they announced last night was a new Fire Emblem.
Yes.
Which is basically a remake of the second Fire Emblem that came out in Japan on the Famicom. That looks really good. They had a Fire Emblem Direct last night, the 18th, and they announced the new Fire Emblem for the 3DS, a Fire Emblem for the Switch. They didn't have any gameplay for that. Fire Emblem Warriors, which is like Hyrule Warriors, where it's a beat 'em up, like hack and slash game of mass proportions, and then a Fire Emblem mobile game that's coming out on February 2nd, and it's going to be free. It's not going to be like Super Mario Run where, you get the first few levels and blah, blah, blah.
Where you have like all those microtransactions.
You have a lot of microtransactions.
Yeah, that was not fun. And to quickly wrap it up here, the one thing I really, really want to talk about, the new Red Dead 2. Everyone loved Red Dead Redemption 1, the old cowboy game. Exactly GTA, but this is like old Western style. So honestly, this is the main thing I'm looking forward to 2017 as of right now, is the new Red Dead Redemption 2. I know exactly. I'm probably gonna pre-order it. I'm gonna try with midnight release. Doubt I can, but I'm gonna get that the second I can because I am so excited for it, and I know a lot of people are too because they're still keeping the same genre, not changing much up about it. But like I said, I still don't know too much of it, so I can't really go into full detail. But like I said, that's probably the main thing I'm looking forward to in 2017 besides the Switch, because that is really awesome.
The game I'm looking forward to the most too is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. They announced that during the Switch presentation. Now, we know nothing about that.
When's that coming out? Late this year?
They're looking for a 2017 release. They don't have an exact date, but they're hoping sometime within 2017.
All right.
No.
Well, I think that's all we have time for right
Yeah.
now. So we're going to wrap up this Level Up News episode 2. We hope you guys enjoyed the discussions on our top 10 list, top 3 list, and what we're looking forward to in 2017. We really do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to see more of Level Up News, obviously go to the YouTube channel, Level Up News _official, to make sure you don't miss an episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, obviously, and our social media pages will be linked into those videos as well.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed too. Do what Eric said, and we'll see you in episode 3 next month.
Later, guys, and don't forget to keep gaming.
Yeah.